Hello there, comic book fans. I wanted to show you a little bit of an oddity today. Something that I dug out of my collection, which I haven't looked through these in a long time. But anyway, they're a bunch of the Neal Adams X-Men from 1969, which I originally got these at a garage sale. Back when I think I was in early high school, so it was probably 1980, 1981, and I remember being thrilled to, find these at a garage sale because it was back before there were any comic shops around, and getting back issues was really the only way I could get back issues was to find them around the neighborhood or at garage sales and some such, and rarely did they have anything as old. These would be 10, 11 years old at the time. As older, even then, it was the Neal Adams X-Men was famous. But what makes these so odd to me is the holes in them. I had never seen this before. I bought these, and I haven't seen any like this since. But if you read grading guides on the internet, you'll find out this actually wasn't uncommon. They would there's some tape right here, reinforce the first few pages with tape, and then punch holes through the entire comic book, I guess so they could keep them in a binder. I guess that's how these collectors liked to keep their comics, back before the days of trade paperbacks or any such. You could, I don't even know if there were how common comic books bags were in 1969. But they'd punch holes in them. And you can see they're a little, they're certainly not in the greatest condition. Holes in them aside, they're wobbly. I mean, I probably got them for a quarter a piece in 1980. You can see they're but still, I like them. Holes in them and all. There's some very nice Neal Adams artwork there. Man, I haven't read these in a long time. I have some of these in reprint. And these are also the ones that the X-Men got canceled right after these issues, if you can believe that. Because these are some really spectacular, fun issues of the X-Men. Neal Adams and Tom Palmer. Matter of fact, this was probably, being that I wasn't much of a DC fan, this was probably my favorite Neal Adams stuff that I had. I mean, most of Neal Adams' work was a few years before my time, since I really started collecting comics when I was 10 in 1976 or so. And this is someone. Is this Sal Buscema issue? So Neal Adams really, his prime time was in the late 60s, early 70s, so I kind of just missed out on him. But I had some of his Batman stuff and other things here and there, but none of it really spoke to me, just because I didn't like the writing very much on it. Nothing to do with Neal Adams' artwork. But I very much enjoyed these X-Men when I finally got them 10 years after they came out. And they're still despite the fact that, the tape miscolored that, I'm surprised that 1969 Scotch tape is still holding. I mean, I've put tape on stuff, and it, gets brittle and falls off in a matter of months, years. But this is a 1969 tape, and I don't know. It must not be just regular Scotch tape, because it's still there. I have some stuff that's like acid-free framers tape. I don't know if this is that, but I'm surprised it's still, on there. Most tape falls off. And I don't know, how many years ago was 1969? If I could do the math, I'd tell you. It's 40-something years. Oop, what's that sticking together for? Oh, look at that little hop. See the tape up there made the top stick together a little bit. But what a weird little quirk of comic collecting. Let's take our comics, get a 3-hole punch through all the comics and put it in a binder. I don't know. Like I said, I've read this was not uncommon. I mean, it wasn't common, but it was not uncommon either. 62. Let's see, what issues am I missing? I don't even know. 61, 62, 58, 61, 62, 64, 65, 66. So I just wanted to show those off a little bit. Just, like I said, they're not the greatest copies in the world, but I find them quirky. I just find those, like I said, these... If you were to offer me mint condition copies for $50 or 3-hole punch copies for $1, I'll take the 3-hole punch copies. That's just because that's the way I am. I'm not a huge mint condition guy because I like to look through my comics, and who wants to... If you got a 9.8, you don't want to look through it because, you don't want your 9.8 to go down to a 9.2 because you somehow don't even know how put a wrinkle in it. So I'll take the ones that I can get wrinkles in, and I'll never even notice because they're already wrinkled before. I didn't take them out, but I'll show them off another time. At that same garage sale, I got some Silver Surfers from the 60s too. Same garage sale, same 3-hole punch. And I must say, I never liked the Silver Surfers. I was very disappointed with them because if you were a kid growing up in the 70s, you would hear about the Silver Surfer a lot. You would read stuff about the Silver Surfer, but there wasn't a Silver Surfer comic since the 60s, so there was nothing. And I remember hearing about the 60s Silver Surfer comics, and of course Stan Lee was always bragging about it because it was his favorite thing that he wrote or something like that all through the 70s. When I finally got the copies of the Silver Surfer, I was like, wow, these are really not very good. He really whines a lot, the Silver Surfer. But that's another story for another time. Look at that. Now strikes Kazar. What a beautiful cover. That Neal Adams sure can draw, can't he? But anyway, there we go. Neal Adams X-Men. 3-hole punched. Weird little quirk of comics. We'll catch you guys later.